Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
Super excited to play for my childhood team. And,
We are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub. Jori Epstein is the senior NFL reporter for Yahoo Sports. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Great to be here with y'all. Thanks for having me on.
Well, listen, the NFL never stops, except for like a month from now. And then it stops for a little bit. And then you're in real trouble, all of us. But what are you hearing around the league about the A.J. Brown deal? What is the reaction to it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all knew this was coming down the pipeline to the point that I planned my trip to Foxborough a week in advance because I'm like, even if they don't trade for him, it's going to be a story at this point. But the Eagles wanted it to be a post-June 1st assignment for cap allocations. They didn't take the full $43 million cap hit this year. They were able to spread it out over a couple years. And so this was something that was kind of coming. Now, it seemed for a long time that Howie Roseman, the Eagles general manager, was not going to take anything less than a deal that included a first-round pick. I thought for a while that there would be some sort of first-round pick and then a second pick that was probably second or third, maybe had some incentives depending on performance, depending on participation, even health, given AJ's knee. And instead, the Patriots got A.J. Brown for a first-round pick, but not 2027, 2028 one, which the league does generally view future picks as less valuable than current or this next round picks, this next draft, I should say. And the second pick is a fifth-round pick. So they actually got a better deal than I was expecting, both in terms of when the first-round pick is, as well as what came along with it.
Okay,
now,
so
again,
that's interesting, though, because I haven't heard someone say this before. You thought the Eagles would get more in return for A.J. Brown. You thought it would be a first and a second or a first and a third.
They certainly wanted that. They certainly were pushing it. And when you hear people talk about, hey, this is kind of touch and go, I think they were trying to drum up interest. The closer we got to June 1st, the more it was like, hey, there's really only one bidder here and you need this guy off your roster. But when there was some activity about this trade in March and April, that is what I thought the compensation would be when there was going to be a bidding war, including the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, interesting.
Finally someone who doesn't say it's an overpay by the Patriots. Yeah. Thank you, George.
The first national person we have on is setting the record straight.
And I guess based on, just that first day, we spoke with one of your colleagues earlier, Mike Reese, who said, yeah, there's like a tangible difference when a player like A.J. Brown comes onto the field, even for OTAs. Just having him there and the the presence of having, like a true number one guy in the receiving corps. Did you feel any of that tangible presence there yesterday? Do you think that this is, something that, can have an effect on the team even before they're playing meaningful football?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this will impact the Patriots. And I also say this as someone who spent a lot of time around the Eagles in recent years. And as much as you can say about A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts and the interpersonal dynamic, A.J. was really well respected in that locker room. And whereas in some locker rooms, the quarterback is the vocal leader, Jalen Hurts, that's not really his style. And so AJ was often the vocal leader, the spokesperson for the entire team, and that's his role. I think the Patriots saw in Stephon Diggs that having a veteran with a lot of fire can be really influential. I would actually argue that in some ways, AJ's competitive spirit is probably even more what you're looking for. And it was funny, they actually asked AJ to lead one of the stretches at practice yesterday because of the respect the team has for him, to which AJ said, nope, let me earn your respect first. I don't just want to walk in and demand it.
You said you had been around, and I want to get back to that, but you said you had been around the Eagles a lot over the last few years. We've heard multiple stories about how bad the relationship was between Brown and his quarterback. How bad was it?
Yeah, I think how bad is this kind of degrees. To me, I'm so biased because I grew up in this industry, so to say, with the Cowboys. So the first 7 years I was covering Dallas, all of which with Dak Prescott, whose leadership is off the charts. You can debate whether he's a top 5, top 10, top 15 quarterback. I'm not saying he's top 5 from skill set, but the way he interacts with everyone is very different than Jalen Hurts. Now, what I would say is that A.J. Brown made very clear to not only his team, but the world. And he even said, I'm using the media because I know it's impactful and influential, and I do, to say, I don't believe that we're going about this offense the right way. And I don't think that we're responding from their first Super Bowl and then their second Super Bowl appearance the right way. But it wasn't like, oh, they're getting into fights in the locker room. I mean, I've seen not like fist fights, but I've seen people have yelling matches in the locker room. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts were not that. It was just everyone thought they were best friends. They weren't anymore. And A.J. wasn't afraid to tell Jalen and tell everybody that he felt like things should be done a different way.
In terms of the skill set, what's going to be different for A.J. Brown as he has Drake May as his quarterback now as opposed to Jalen Hurts? How do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is obviously Drake loves throwing the deep ball. AJ's not only going to be a deep ball guy, but he can do short, he can do middle, he can do down the field. I think that I talked to general manager Elliott Wolf yesterday, and he also told me that Drake likes throwing to big-bodied receivers, and AJ's so big that you have Josh McDaniels comparing him to Gronk, and you have, when Elliott first saw him in college, he's like, is this a pass rusher or something? Because it doesn't look like a receiver. He's a big guy. So I think that they will have very complementary skill sets, and AJ's got great hands, great ball control, but really the size is going to be notable.
Okay. What about the Myles Garrett situation? It's interesting. I don't recall teams going this all in, like being as open to trading future assets as they are today.
Yeah, and it's funny because the last time the Rams went really all in like this was the year that the stadium they play in, SoFi Stadium in LA, was hosting the Super Bowl, and that's the case again this year. So they're like, let's go all in on getting this home Super Bowl. Look, if you're the Rams, you have Matthew Stafford, 38 years old. You want to maximize your window to contend. I laugh as people said, oh, Ty Simpson in the first round this year. You're drafting Matthew's potential replacement. Do you care about winning? They got 2 cornerbacks from the Chiefs. Now they've got Myles Garrett. I think they're doing plenty for this season, and we can put that narrative to bed. Now, I also think if you're the Browns, there's this element of Myles Garrett's peak does not align with their rebuilding timeline. He's expensive. He's already at his peak. And so the Browns said, look, we're not just going to trade him and have to completely rebuild our defense. But if you give us a really good defensive player, and Jared Verse in both of his seasons has been a Pro Bowler, and in his first season was Defensive Rookie of the Year, he's also still cheaper, then you're getting a player, and they add to that a first-round pick in 2027. Remember, we talked about the value of that, and a second-round pick in 2028, and a third. So I did talk to one high-ranking executive of a team who thought the Browns got the way better deal on this, which actually surprised me a little bit because the Rams got Myles Garrett. But really for both teams, this made sense relative to where they're at the timeline, which is super different. And the last thing I'll say is Browns might need a quarterback next year. Now they'll have 2 first-round picks to go chase it.
Yeah, and with the Rams, I mean, we had Bert Breer in here, and he was like the Simpson move in the first round is the opposite of, like, you know, not going on all in this season. In his estimation, getting a quarterback in this year's draft frees you up to trade picks in upcoming drafts, which, you know, because you have your quarterback in waiting. So now you're freed up to start, you know, dealing some other picks while not sacrificing the future entirely. So that's an interesting way to look at it. I was very surprised at the player that the Rams gave back. It seemed like if you wanted to get Myles Garrett, like you team him up with another really, really good pass rusher, that, like, you're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. Obviously, Myles Garrett is like a generational talent, but were you at all surprised with the player going back?
So I'll tell you, the Browns were not going to trade Myles Garrett. I've talked to multiple people in that building who say they would not trade Myles Garrett if they didn't get a really strong player back. No one is suggesting that Jared Verse is going to be Myles Garrett. I mean, it's kind of the difference between a basically guaranteed Hall of Famer versus a really high-level Pro Bowler starter. But then you say, is the difference between a Hall of Fame blue-chip player and maybe a really high-level starter 3 picks, including a first round? Because that's what they did. So I think that the Rams knew if we want Myles Garrett, we have to overpay or the Browns aren't parting with him. Now, and I say overpay in the sense of if you look at just a basic trade chart, the Browns got a lot back, but you also have to pay premium because they don't have to part with Myles. They didn't need that, and the Rams did.
Yeah, and the notion that the Rams got exponentially better on defense as a result of the trade, they got better. I mean, if you add Myles Garrett, it's going to make any team better, but like you said, it wasn't something that they necessarily needed to have in order to round out their football team. So I think it was a great deal for the Browns. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is a team that was already the Super Bowl favorites, the Rams. So I think they should still be the Super Bowl favorites. And it'll be interesting to see Miles in that culture because Sean McVay is very demanding. And Miles has been a guy who, for a lot of years, practice when he wants to practice. And look, when you're that good and you're on a team that's that bad, you generally have different rules. He is not the only one to have that, but I'm fascinated to see the cultural fit here and what it's like for him being around a team that is truly a Super Bowl contender.
Jory, I know you just got here, but the other big story other than A.J. Brown for the Patriots is Christian Gonzalez, who is staying away from OTAs because he wants a new big contract, and there's the looming Drake May deal out there for the Patriots. What is your view nationally of Christian Gonzalez getting a contract from the Patriots sooner rather than later?
Yeah, I think he'll get one. I mean, I think to Mike Vrabel's credit yesterday, he did tell us at the podium, look, this is business. This is a contract. We understand that's part of professional sports. Mike Vrabel, as a former player, understands it. I think he'll get it. We also saw the market shift a little bit with Patrick Surtain in Denver getting a bit of a raise. So I think it's kind of going to be, there's a couple of these guys whoever gets one first, the next guy is just going to beat him. As it relates to Drake May, I'm glad you asked, because when I talked to Elliot Wolf yesterday and I said, can you do a deal like A.J. Brown more right now because you have Drake May on a rookie contract, which is the best market inefficiency in the NFL? And he said, yes, both that and what they've done in free agency this year and last year is not a sustainable model, but you do it now. And he told me, which isn't a surprise, but I don't think he's said it on the record yet, getting Drake May done is our number one priority. We have other priorities. Drake is our number one. He's eligible for an extension as soon as after this season. And every move they make, including AJ, who, for example, his guaranteed salary this year is much bigger than next year. And after that, there's not guarantees. All of that factors in. What is your timeline for paying one, Drake, and then two, after that, guys like Gonzo, because you got to play your good players, not only for the talent, but also to show guys culturally, if you play well here, you'll get that second deal.
It's interesting. They don't like spending a lot of money, so it should be interesting when that all comes to pass. Jori Epstein, Yahoo Sports, thank you as always. We appreciate it. Good job.
Absolutely. Great to be on with y'all.
Thanks. There you go. Jori Epstein. That's interesting. She thought they would have to give up more. Mm-hmm. The Patriots.
Yeah,
it's the first time I've heard that. Very interesting.
I mean, the notion that next year's first round pick is more valuable than, say this year's or 2028. Yeah, just because of what the draft looks like, that I get. But the further you kick it down the road, the less valuable it becomes.
Yeah.
That's just part of the calculus too. So I never thought it was bad. I heard, we were, John, you and I were together or on the same place when, the news came down Monday afternoon, 1st and the 5th. I said, first went to, 2 years from now?
Yeah.
Take it.
That was fine with that.
Absolutely
fine with
you
that.
And you can, the 5th rounder next year isn't nothing. It's something, but it's a 5th rounder. Yeah. So by all means.
There's these teams that are always in purgatory. My opinion has shifted dramatically on it. It's still proven that it doesn't work just to go nuts in free agency. That is proof.
Well,
there is the proof is there.
I'll give you credit. That was a first guess by you when the Patriots went nuts 3 years ago or 4 years ago.
That's what I was fishing for.
Yeah,
it was a little bit of credit.
I got to give it to you.
Well,
I got to give it to you.
I actually wasn't. But what the thing is that my opinion on like mortgaging the future for the short term has changed a little bit because again, there's bad franchises that just keep in this purgatory of churning and burning picks. And now I've seen it that you can hit on multiple picks in a draft and still suck. Like it's just sometimes you just got to play for now. So you got to, if you have a window where you're going to win games, sometimes you got to go all in because you don't know when it's going to happen again.
And sometimes if you have the right draft department, like for instance, how many first-round picks did the Rams punt away? And they had one low first-round pick, and they got Verse with that low first-round pick, and look at what they turned it into.
Now, listen, they were able to, they've had a lot of success later in the draft, and that's certainly necessary. But the thing that made them a Super Bowl winner and Super Bowl contenders every year is the Stafford trade. So until you have that quarterback situation taken care of, it's all conversation. Because you can have a good draft and 3 years later still not have a quarterback and just flip those picks again. Flip those players for picks. And then that's just, you're waiting around for a quarterback. Once you have your quarterback, you don't know what's going to happen. You get hurt, anything. Nothing wrong with winning today. Or you should wait around your whole life and never win.
Yep.
That's what. That's the. Oh, they won the draft. Oh, they got so many picks. Oh, they won the trade. Well, no, they won the trade. They won the draft, but they're not winning any football games. It's time to start winning football games. That's what I would like to see.
It does go the other way. For instance, Detroit, I don't know if they said Detroit won the draft the year they got Laporta and all.
No, they said they
Gibbs.
lost the draft.
Oh, did they?
Right, yeah, because they took a running back and a middle linebacker in the first round.
Gibbs was right around pick 10, right?
They took
very high
Gibbs
for a
and
running
Campbell
back.
in the first round, and they said that was stupid. And there's people saying it's stupid now. I just read an article a couple days ago about, that the Lions drafted so well at these non-premium positions that they've had to pay these non-premium position players. They paid Campbell and they're going to have to pay Gibbs if they want to keep him, and that they're investing too much money in non-premium positions. There's a way to spin anything. Again,
one of the reasons why we have to have this conversation, though, is that for years the Patriots were adamant about winning deals and winning the trade. And, Wes Welker to Denver was one thing, and Robert Kraft trying to convince, everybody that, they had actually offered him more money when, the numbers didn't necessarily back that up. I suppose if you can figure the math and guaranteed and years and stuff, fine, I get it. But they were all about winning deals, but they were also winning. So, the fan base in New England became conditioned to, it's like, well, you got to do both. It's not enough to just win games. You got to win the deals too. And that's and as we talked about, Fred, that's what the owners really get off on.
Oh, that's right. That's going to make you not like football. Is that the idea that the owners, which I guess is true, are more playing with themselves over contracts and everything. You want to win the Super Bowl, sure, but you want to win it being a smart businessman.
Is it good to win this with Super Bowl if you pay a bunch of guys the most money at their position and maybe leave yourself in a precarious position for the next 2 years afterward? I can see where as a business person that might be unsettling, but you still won the Super Bowl. Isn't that good enough? Oh no, it's much better to win it and to have saved a little bit of money in the process.
Yeah, like when you go to that owners meeting or like whatever the Skull and Bones meeting you go to where they light things in effigy.
That's
People
right.
don't
Ensconced in the breakers in the back room. That's right.
Or that place in Alabama or Arkansas or where the hell they go.
Break the paddles out in the robes.
Exactly. They do. There is really a Skull and Bones thing where they burn something. They burn this massive thing. It's
not for NFL owners, though.
I'm sure that NFL owners have been there. It's for billionaires and heads of tech companies. Like, it's some weird thing. People have gotten into it, and it's not as interesting as it may seem. It's just kind of weird that they all get together and like, it's not satanic or anything, but it's just weird. Like
Bonesman.
Like, I could see like wanting to have dinner with a group of guys.
I like that.
Or a group of people and sitting around and discussing business and getting ideas from other great minds. I don't know the idea of traveling somewhere in the middle of nowhere and lighting things on fire, like in a ceremony. The idea of ceremony is maybe where I lose the process. I don't know what about having great financial wealth.
I think a lot of performances in drag, too. At least that's what I've seen in movies.
Oh.
That's part of it, too.
Well, there's the great humiliations.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I just it's so much bad football and so many bad franchises. There's nothing wrong with winning. There's nothing wrong with winning in the short term. Worry about 2 years from now, 2 years from now.
That's the name of your book, Fred. There's nothing wrong with winning.
That's right. Why should I apologize for being such a winner?
Oh, Jesus.
We got it. That's my brand. That's my brand. Freddie T's, don't apologize for winning. First thing we learn is how to snap. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way on the Sports Hub.
I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, the email segment is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. They're giving away free gas on Friday. Follow at gottagetglassman to get all the details on social media. You can follow us on social media at Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985, and on Instagram at Fred Toucher. You can email us. Our emails are right there on the 98.5 The Sports Hub website. A lot of emails today.
I like this one that we just got. I had forgotten about this. A.J. Brown once read a self-help book on the sideline. You remember that?
Yeah, well, we explored it in great detail, yes.
Okay. Cam said, am I the only one who thinks that the phrase makes no sense? How is it self-help if it's a book written by somebody else? Wouldn't that just be help?
Well, we are in the golden age of theatrical reading by athletes. We are in the LeBron James era of nothing gave me quite as much joy as the time in LeBron's career where he was reading. And he was very proud of his reading. He was reading The Godfather for a couple seasons, and then he was asked about The Godfather, what his favorite part was, and he's like, how should I know? Like, there's so many great parts. And there was a huge chunk of my life I'd never seen The Godfather, but I could tell you about 5 things that happened in The Godfather before I saw The Godfather. The idea that you've been carrying around this book for 2 years, and they ask you something that happened in it, and you can't think of anything.
I would have, in his position, described one of the very graphically described sex scenes in the book The Godfather.
Yeah,
it's very raunchy.
Well, I mean, just The Godfather, the cannoli thing. He just says the part with the cannoli. There.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
When he puts the orange in his mouth. I mean, there's stuff I knew before I saw The Godfather.
But I like that. Self-help books are inherently not self-help. Someone else wrote it. They are helping you, so it's just help. It reminds me of official bootlegs. Get the official bootleg from the Pearl Jam concert series. Yeah. Well, if it's official and it's sanctioned by the band and they're putting it on their website, it's no longer a bootleg, is it? Official bootleg is a contradiction in terms.
Well, people buy Jordan Peterson books, and the only clips I see of him, he's sobbing uncontrollably. So there must be something to these self-help. I don't even know if he writes self-help books. I think self-help books are meant to be purchased and felt good about while being purchased. It's just for the moment of purchase.
Yeah, you don't read it.
No. It's like books on Buddhism. Like they kind of just you acquire them, and then they sit on a nightstand or on a shelf. You know.
You put it down on the counter, don't touch it, it collects dust, and then you throw it out.
Well, you don't throw out the books, Johnny. Come on. Why would you throw it out?
Either that or you burn them, one or the other.
You've turned your back on so many sacred things. Why don't you start burning books while you're at it, too?
Someone else, I don't think we mentioned this, the ultramarathoner that you brought up earlier, Fred, the guy who went from base camp to the summit of Everest in less than 10 hours.
Yeah.
He's a Concord, Mass. native.
Oh.
I did not mention that. I did not know that.
Tyler C. Andrews, long-distance runner, trail running, ultramarathoning, and mountaineering specialist.
I'll tell you, that ultramarathoning is pretty interesting. I can't read them, but I've listened to a couple books. Rich Roll's book. This guy who ran across the country. I read his book or listened to it. Like, it's a real self-flagellation. Like, there is some inherent desire to like torture oneself that goes into those things. It's really fascinating. I don't know how it's much different than like doing heroin in a way. It's terrible for your body. It's like
it's a little different.
I don't know. What's the life expectancy of someone who's ran 100 miles? That's got to take a toll on the body. 100-mile run, like where they're passing out, and they do it. They don't do it like here. They do it like in Death Valley.
Yeah,
that crazy one. That there's a name for it, but they do this ultra marathon in Death Valley. Why? Because it's like the hottest place in the world. Or they do it where you go up into elevation. Like they just keep torturing themselves. Or in Tennessee, they have the one where they put pages of a book that you got to rip out to find your way around. I have a friend who did that.
I remember that story.
Yeah, it is a little insufferable, the stories of it. But you have a friend who does these ultra marathons. He's got to carry around bug spray with him, or not bear spray with him, like bear repellent in some of these things because you're running so deep into the woods.
Thanks.
It doesn't seem good for you. I don't think a doctor would go run 100 miles.
Tyler Andrews attended Concord Academy, ran cross country, showed little promise as a national caliber runner with a personal best of only 18:30 for the 5K, and then went to Skidmore College for a year before transferring to
Cosine Skidmore.
Tufts University.
Yeah. Tuck University. Crying game.
All right.
A lot of votes, a lot of late votes for who should wear the fart monitor. A lot of people want Zoe to do it, even
He
though
won't do it,
I know,
so it's
even though Zoe won't do it.
I mean, it's just stop. Again, this is this is a reality. Sometimes one must face reality. Zoe's not doing it. Move on.
A lot of scattered votes. One from Mike Reese, who that would be interesting.
A tiny fart.
Yes. We have one here for Adam 12. Yeah. We have one here. There are a couple here that really want the boss to do it. And I think it has more to do with your imitation of him than actual what we would get out of it. And
you want to have Rick on once a week to talk about his farts?
Here's one from Richie from Revere. I would like to see Tim McCone wear it only because it will make him all sorts of uncomfortable.
Yeah, but then is McCone the guy you want to have on to talk about the results with?
And
I've talked to McCone about a lot of other stuff, but he's going to be. McCone is almost like too self-effacing already. It wouldn't be fun to hear him, take himself down a peg because he does it all the time anyway.
Yeah, I don't mean it as an insult. Like I don't think it's insulting to say, would you want to talk to McCone about his farting every week? Like there's odder characters to put it on. Oh, you can put an
There you go.
He'd never wear it.
I have one last one.
Adolfo will wear it. Like
Yes.
Adolfo, and I know Adolfo will do it. He's done this kind of stuff. Like he'll put the underwear on and leave it on. He'll do it. That I can tell you. Nick's dad is the real sword in the stone.
That's the holy grail.
Yeah, but he's not going to do it. I don't even want to ask him. So I have a feeling it's going to be Adolfo.
And Nick doesn't want to ask him. Nick doesn't even want to talk to him.
Oh, ask me for anything. A hug. A fond hello.
Has he seen the baby? Oh, no.
Oh, no, really?
It's been around for like 3 months now.
How old is he now? Your second child?
He's 3 months.
Oh, man.
I knew.
3 months. Yeah.
3 months I'll never get back.
Here's the thing. He doesn't call me. I mean, I know.
Someone's got to be the bigger man.
I know. But he hasn't called me. He hasn't reached out to me.
Since the birth of your child.
I've heard from him since the birth.
I think we've had him on the air since you've had your kid.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or right before.
But
we've had him on this year.
But he's been like MIA. I don't know what he's talking to my mother-in-law almost every week, which is very
he's
bizarre.
trying to hit that.
Okay,
nice.
oh my.
All right. What? He's a man still.
Yeah,
he's a human man with needs.
Yes, he is.
All right. Well, Nick, that's a little pie in the sky. I know. A little pie in the sky. Fred, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, there's a book you need to listen to called Born to Run. This marathoner discovers a tribe in Mexico that runs ultra marathons just to get around in sandals, and they do fine.
Born to Run. All right, I will.
Yes, sir.
Believe me, I will
Check it
listen to
out.
anything. I listen to the Status Quo guy's book. I'll listen. That proves I'll listen to literally anything. In narrative form, a nonfiction narrative. I will listen to almost anything. It really has to be bad for me to stop. There are some books that I've stopped. The one about I'm a psychopath. It's this woman who has been diagnosed apparently as a psychopath, but she has a keen recollection of her witty patter with people when she was 4.
I'm sure.
It was so bad that I read the New York Times book review. Have you ever done that? You're like, what the hell is going on here? And the New York Times book review was like, how the hell is she remembering?
Right.
She was quite a clever 4-year-old, she'll tell you, in great detail, including full conversations.
Beyond precocious.
With a photographic memory, apparently. It was complete nonsense.
I wonder if and I'm not saying it makes it more accurate, Fred, but if the more one goes into therapy and talks about, your childhood and stuff like that, if that makes it more likely that you can recall things or at least think that you're recalling things. Because we talked about it with Gary Goldman's book, how, it's such great detail from his elementary school days and all the stuff. And it's a great book, Goldman's book. But I remember us talking about it, how does he remember all that stuff?
Well, I will point you to Night of the Gun. where a New York Times reporter, famous New York Times reporter in real life, goes and investigates his own life from when he was a drug addict in Minnesota, and he investigates it like he'd investigate anything else. He gets public files. He interviews the people that were in his life. He does it all on camera, and then he reports on it. And one of the interesting that it's an addiction memoir, but beyond that, one of the things that comes out of it is how the human memory works. Like your memories, as vivid as they may seem, aren't what happened. Like they just aren't. And then he goes into it, but like it's not a clinical book, but he touches on it. Like your memories, regardless of how vivid they are not like a motion picture, a video of what happened. Like that's not exactly how it happened. At best, it's not exactly how it happened. Probably you're remembering it entirely wrong. And that's why if I got called out for like a story from high school, that doesn't like the ending is correct because it will be factual. But like everything that led up to the ending most likely has been corrupted so many times by the amount of tellings. Like any good story, I've obviously jazzed up in repeated tellings based on interactions with the person I'm telling it to.
Oh, they really attach themselves to that
it's all subconscious, right? It's all subconscious. And then you honestly remember that story the way you're telling it. You're not lying. You could pass a lie detector test.
Right.
But you're telling a story you've honed and crafted over so many years. Yeah. None of it, it's lost all of the factual meat. Now, the beginning's probably correct. The end is correct. It can probably be Googled. But everything in the middle is just a hazy recollection. All right. We will be back in just a moment. I will take Joe if he wants to stay on line 3. We're getting inundated with calls today. It's been very exciting. What, Nicholas? What? 1. Okay, we'll take Judy too. All right, well, you got it, Nick. I don't know why you handled 1, but there you go. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Tell you during the break.
All right, we'll be. You could have. All right, here are the headlines.
I know. No, you don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, and we were mentioning before how Nick was mentioning how his father talks to his mother-in-law once a week. Well, Nick's mother-in-law is on the phone.
Oh.
And her name is Judy. Hello, Judy.
Hi, Fred. Hi, Hardy.
Hi.
It's nice to talk to you. What a thrill it must be to have Nick as a son-in-law.
He's wonderful. He is a wonderful son-in-law, great father.
Why won't he talk
to?
Why won't he talk to his father, Judy?
Oh, I don't want to talk about that at all. I wanted to talk about
Judy.
a book I read.
Oh,
go ahead,
Judy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were talking about ultra marathons, and I just finished a book called A Walk in the Park, and it's all about these crazy naturalists that walk the Grand Canyon, the not what you see from the top of the. Have you ever visited the Grand Canyon?
I have not.
Well,
I have, Judy. You can speak with me. Go ahead.
Okay.
Leave Fred out of it.
Well, they are down in the Grand Canyon. They walk thousands of miles. It goes on forever. The biggest thing about it is getting dehydrated. And when you get dehydrated, you get these bumps under your skin that look like you have live animals, like caterpillars or something, under your skin. And if you're not airlifted out of there in less than 24 hours, you have a seizure, and then you die from dehydration.
So it's a funny book.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, no?
Yeah, it's what Screwballs, the movie, was based off of. You know what? I'll tell you what, Judy. We a lot of man hours and power into life-flighting people out of these precarious situations. Between Mount Everest and in the Grand Canyon, a lot of people needing other people to help them achieve staying alive.
Life.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Judy, I'll tell you this, is that Nick can't stop raving about you. He is a good family man, and We thank you so much for calling in. I will check that out. I will listen to anything. I will listen to. What's it called again?
A Walk in Park by Kevin Federico. And he and his friend went in completely unprepared. They met up with this group, and they had these boxes of all their equipment, and the night before the thing, they just dumped them out. They didn't know what they were doing. They kept going back and going back, and it was like but they lived. I will tell you that. They
lived to tell the tale.
Your son-in-law, Nick, looks and dresses like somebody who would hike around a lot, but he in fact does not. Do you wish he would be a little more active?
I love Nick. He's a great son-in-law. I have 2 great son-in-laws, and I'm Italian, so you can imagine.
That's different than Nick.
Yeah, Nick's Irish.
Nick's all Irish. He did it. Did you know he did a genetic test, Judy, and he was almost entirely Irish?
I gave it to him for Christmas.
Oh, Judy, thank you for the content.
Yeah, you're responsible for many minutes of programming on this show.
There you go. There you go. I wanted to be on the radio. See that?
All right. Well, Judy, you are. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Judy.
I listen every day. You guys are great.
Thank you, Judy. There you go. The great Judy. Our female listener. Thank you, Nick, for bringing us a female listener. Joe, go ahead.
Hey, guys. Fred, you were cracking me up with the LeBron story about The Godfather. You were partially right. They asked him about the movie, and it's one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic movie of all time.
Right.
And yeah, he was like, I can't. There's so many lines, there's so many moments, and then there's like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 other examples of LeBron lying for no reason at all. And me and my buddies joke about it all the time. One of them is, he's on a panel with, I think he's a soccer star, an international soccer star. And they're just interviewing these guys, and he's there. And the soccer star is like, I had a coach, and he basically says something to the extent of, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And they cut to LeBron, like an episode of The Office, and he just goes, that's one of my favorite sayings. That's one of my favorite sayings. Yeah. And then another one is he's talking about years later after Kobe dropped 81 points. And he's like, I knew that night. I told my friends, I knew Kobe's going to drop 81. And he says the exact number. There's like 4 or 5, maybe 6 of these all over the internet. Yeah. He's reading the Malcolm X book, and he's just like, oh, yeah, he's just a brave man, a strong man. What's your favorite quote? I just started. He's always 2 pages in.
Well, that's what we had great fun with him in the books. He was always 2 pages in. And I think LeBron James is an example of someone from a very young age who's had no one to check him. Like, no one's been able to, like the nonsense with the chess that we used to have fun with. Like, he's like, I'm a great chess player.
In my mind.
Yeah, but not...
Right.
I don't play chess. It's in my mind.
Yeah.
Play a lot of chess. Not in real life.
My father would have just stood up and walked away. He wouldn't even yelled at me. My father would have just stood up and walked away and just been like, why are you my son? Which happened on more than one occasion. He would have had no patience for that. None. Oh, you're so good at chess. I think I played chess with him as an adult so he could show me how much smarter he was than me. All right. Scott Zola.
How long's Nick been here?
I don't know, a long time.
Like 3 years?
10 years. You didn't know 10 years.
You didn't know he was married?
10.
I knew he was married and I had kids, but he can't run the board at all?
No.
What have you learned in 10 years?
He's learned video editing. He's
tape recorded people on the street.
What have you learned?
Me?
How have you grown your craft?
Number 1, man. What do we do?
Just
being me.
Oh, jeez.
He's perfected the Zoe.
Hey, it's gotten him this far.
Play a lot of chess.
Yeah. Right, well, look, we're running late. We wouldn't want the TV to get upset. Yeah. Big TV stars.
Oh, you're doing it again.
Dressed like yikes.
You
All
should
right.
listen to me more.
Rick doesn't care. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.